As a heart surgeon, I am begging seniors to stop this one habit. Have you ever noticed how silence can feel heavier with age? Not the silence around us, but the silence within us, like the quiet throb in your chest you don't talk about. The breath you catch a little too often on the stairs. Or the blood pressure reading you've been meaning to check, but didn't. You see, what scares me most as a heart doctor isn't the emergency room. It's what happens long before that, those tiny moments we brush off. A missed morning walk, one more salty snack, the habit of telling yourself, I feel fine, so I must be okay. But the truth is, our hearts have been quietly carrying us for decades, and after 60, they don't cry out for help. They whisper. If we don't listen, those whispers become warnings. Today, I want to sit with you, not lecture you. Just two old souls talking about how we care for the most faithful organ we've ever had, our heart. Because I've seen it again and again, how a few small changes can mean more birthdays, more laughter, more life. So, if you've ever felt a little uncertain about how your heart's really doing, let's explore it together in this video. Part 1. The most dangerous habit is doing nothing. Let me start with something simple but serious. I've lost count of how many people over 60 I've met who say, I don't exercise, but I stay active, I move around the house, and I get it. After a certain age, rest feels well earned. But here's the quiet truth. Our heart is a muscle, and muscles fade when we stop using them. When movement slows, so does circulation. Blood thickens. Fat begins to cling to artery walls. And slowly, the heart pushes harder. Not because you're sick, but because you're still. The worst part. Most seniors don't feel the damage until they do. Until the legs feel heavy. Until a walk to the mailbox feels like a mountain. Until the heart murmurs. I'm tired. You don't need to join a gym. You don't need to wear sneakers every day. You just need to move intentionally, gently, daily. Take 10 minutes after breakfast to walk your hallway. Stretch your arms while the kettle boils. Walk around the garden. Every step is like whispering to your heart, I'm still here. I still care. It's not about fitness. It's about not letting stillness slowly harden the organ that keeps you alive. Part 2. The taste that hides the trouble. Let's talk about something we sprinkle without thinking. Something that doesn't look harmful, doesn't even taste that strong, but quietly puts pressure on your heart every single day. I'm talking about salt. Now, most people think sugar is the real villain, and yes, sugar causes its fair share of trouble. But for folks over 60, salt can be far more dangerous. Why? Because as we age, our kidneys don't filter sodium like they used to. That means even small amounts of salt can build up in the body, holding onto water, raising blood pressure, and stretching your blood vessels like worn-out rubber bands. You might not feel it. There's no burning sensation, no warning light, just a little more strain on the inside. Every single day, I've had patients say, but doctor, I never use the salt shaker, and I believe them. Because the real problem isn't the shaker, it's the hidden salt. It's in canned soup, in breakfast cereal, in store-bought salad dressings, sauces, even healthy frozen meals. Salt hides in places you don't expect. Here's what I suggest. Start checking food labels. Look for sodium content, aim for under 1/500 millimolar per day, which is about 3/4 of a teaspoon total. Switch to fresh ingredients when you can. Use herbs, garlic, lemon, or pepper to bring out flavor instead. Your taste buds will adjust. And your heart. It'll thank you for giving it room to breathe. Because less salt doesn't just lower your blood pressure, it eases the load on your kidneys, reduces swelling, and protects your blood vessels from wearing down before their time. Little by little, Less salt means more life. Part 3. Morning foods that burden the heart. Let me ask you something personal. What did you eat for breakfast this morning? Maybe it was a buttered toast, a fried egg, maybe bacon, or even just a sweet cup of coffee with cream. It sounds comforting, nostalgic. But here's what most people don't realize. For your heart, especially after 60, that first meal can either ease it into the day or jolt it into stress. You see, in the early morning, your blood is naturally thicker. Your vessels are tighter. That's why more heart attacks happen between 6 a.m. and noon than at any other time. Now imagine tossing heavy fats, salt, and sugar into that mix. You're asking your heart to sprint before it's even had a chance to stretch. It's something I've seen often in patients who thought they were eating a traditional breakfast, but their arteries were paying the price. I'm not saying skip breakfast, but we do need to rethink it. Instead of sausage or sugary cereal, try something that supports circulation like warm oatmeal with berries, a boiled egg with avocado, or just a banana and some warm lemon water. These foods are gentle. They don't spike your blood pressure or thicken your blood. They offer fiber, antioxidants, and steady energy. Breakfast doesn't have to be bland, it just needs to be kind to your aging heart. Part 4. Alcohol, the harmless habit that isn't. You've probably heard the saying, a glass of red wine is good for the heart. And for years, even doctors repeated that line, myself included. But here's what I've learned after treating thousands of hearts over the decades, that one glass may not hurt when you're 40, but after 60, your heart isn't the same. See, your liver processes alcohol more slowly as you age. Your heart becomes more sensitive to changes in rhythm, and your medications, many of which are common after 60, can clash with even small amounts of alcohol. It's not about being a heavy drinker. It's about regular habits, just one glass a day, every day. That small comfort can quietly raise blood pressure, increase the risk of atrial fibrillation, and interfere with medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes. I've had patients who never got drunk but whose hearts were working overtime every night to manage the load. If you enjoy a drink occasionally, I'm not here to take that from you. But I do want you to pause and ask, is this habit still serving your health or quietly stealing from it? Maybe switch to herbal tea a few nights a week, or a calming evening routine music, soft lighting, a gentle book. It's not about quitting everything. It's about giving your heart the space to rest. Truly rest. Because sleep isn't healing if alcohol is working against it. Part 5. Buried emotions, heavy heart. Let's talk about something you'll never see on a blood test, but that shows up on every worn-out heart I've ever treated: unspoken emotions. Pain that's been carried quietly, grief that never had room to breathe, anger hidden behind polite smiles. So many seniors I know say, I don't want to burden anyone with my feelings, or I've been through worse. I'll manage. But here's what the science shows and what I've witnessed again and again. Emotional stress is physical. When you bottle up sadness or frustration, your body doesn't just get over it, it releases stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline that tighten blood vessels, raise heart rate, and push blood pressure higher than normal. And over time, those spikes become strain. The heart learns to pump in a constant state of alert. Even when you're sitting quietly in a chair, your cardiovascular system is bracing for battle. That's why emotional health isn't a luxury, it's survival. So what can you do? You don't need therapy to start healing. You need space. Space to speak honestly with a friend, to write a letter you never send, to sit quietly and let your heart feel without apology. Even a few minutes a day, just breathing and checking in with your own emotions can change how your heart behaves. Because when you release the weight from your chest emotionally, your physical heart can finally relax too. Part 6. Snoring isn't just a sound. We often laugh about it. You snore like a bear, someone might say, and maybe we joke, wear earplugs or sleep in separate rooms. But from where I sit, as a heart doctor, snoring isn't funny. It's a signal. Sometimes it's a cry for help, loud, frequent snoring, especially if it's paired with gasping or choking sounds during sleep, can be a sign of sleep apnea. That's when your breathing actually stops for moments at a time, sometimes dozens or even hundreds of times a night. You might not remember it. You may just feel tired, foggy, or short-tempered during the day, but your heart remembers. Every pause in breath drops your oxygen levels. Every drop makes your blood pressure spike, and over time, it trains your heart to live in stress, even in sleep. That kind of repeated strain raises your risk of heart failure, stroke, and even sudden cardiac death, especially in men over 60. But there is good news: sleep apnea is treatable. If someone tells you that you snore loudly or that you stop breathing in your sleep, please don't brush it off. Ask your doctor for a sleep study. It's painless, and it could save your life, because real rest deep, healing rest can only happen when your heart isn't fighting for air. Part 7. Smoke, even secondhand, scars the heart. By now, you probably already know smoking is terrible for your lungs. But what many people still don't realize is that smoke doesn't stop at the lungs. It slices right through to the heart. Every puff, whether it's yours or someone else's, releases thousands of toxic chemicals. These toxins enter your bloodstream, and the first thing they touch, the delicate inner lining of your arteries. That inner lining, called the endothelium, is like velvet. It keeps your blood flowing smoothly and prevents dangerous buildup, but when exposed to smoke, it gets rough, inflamed, and sticky. Plaque starts to form, blood thickens, and suddenly, your heart is pushing against resistance with every beat. I've treated seniors who never smoked a day in their lives but lived with someone who did, and their arteries look no different than those of smokers. Secondhand smoke raises your risk of heart attack by up to 25%. That's not just a statistic, that's your life. And don't be fooled by light cigarettes or vaping. Nicotine still narrows your blood vessels, the chemicals still inflame, and your heart still suffers. The moment you stop smoking or remove yourself from smoke, your heart begins to recover. Within 24 hours, your blood pressure starts to drop. Within a few weeks, circulation improves, and within a year, your risk of heart disease drops dramatically. It's never too late. Even if you've smoked for decades, your heart still wants to heal. All it needs is the chance. Part 8. Screens before bed, a modern threat to an aging heart. We live in a glowing world. Phones by the bed, television humming in the background. One more scroll before sleep. It feels harmless, comforting even. But this small, modern habit may be silently costing your heart the rest it desperately needs. Here's why: screens, phones, tablets, TVs all emit blue light. That light tells your brain it's still daytime. As a result, your body delays the release of melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. And without enough melatonin, your sleep becomes lighter, shorter, and more restless. Your blood pressure stays elevated, your heart rate stays higher, and your nervous system doesn't get to fully reset overnight. It's like leaving the engine running all night long. Your heart never truly rests. Studies show that seniors who use screens late into the evening have significantly higher risks of heart problems, even if they eat well and exercise. And it's not just the light, it's the content. The news that stirs up worry, the social media that triggers comparison. Even a fast-paced movie can keep your brain racing while your body tries to sleep. So here's what I recommend. Try a digital sunset. 1 hour before bed, turn off the screens, dim the lights, make a cup of tea, read a gentle book, or simply sit in stillness. Let your heart know it's safe to slow down, because true rest isn't just sleep, it's peace. Part 9. Fried food and fast food, fuel that damages the heart. Sometimes the most harmful choices don't feel like choices at all. They feel like convenience, like comfort, like I'm too tired to cook tonight. And that's where fast food slips in quietly, but powerfully. Now, let me be clear. I'm not here to shame anyone for grabbing a burger after a long day, I understand. You're exhausted. The smell is inviting. The price is easy. But here's the truth. Your heart lives with afterward. Fried food and fast food are loaded with trans fats, saturated fats, and sodium. They make your blood thicker, your arteries narrower, and your heart work harder with every bite. It's not just about weight gain, it's about inflammation. Tiny fires inside your blood vessels, fires that damage the inner lining of your arteries over time, making it easier for plaque to build up and harder for blood to flow. And this happens slowly. You don't feel it after one meal. But over time, it's like pouring grease into your engine every single day. Eventually, something gives. What's the alternative? You don't have to live on boiled vegetables. Start small. Use an air fryer instead of deep frying. Bake instead of pan fry. Try grilled chicken, homemade soups, roasted sweet potatoes. Cook once, eat twice. Prepare a healthy meal and reheat it the next day. Healthy doesn't have to mean complicated, because every bite you take is either feeding your heart or fighting it. Part 10. Skipping medications, the silent gamble. There's a moment I've seen too many times as a doctor. A senior walks in, breathing a little harder than usual. Their blood pressure is up, their heart is under strain. And when I ask gently, "Have you been taking your medications regularly?" they hesitate. Then they say something I've heard again and again. "Well, I was feeling okay, so I stopped." Let me tell you something with all the compassion I have. Feeling okay is not the same as being okay. High blood pressure is a silent condition. It doesn't cause pain, doesn't give early warning signs, but every day you skip your medication, it quietly damages the lining of your arteries, stiffens your heart muscle, and increases your risk of heart attack, stroke, and kidney failure. And here's what's worse. The damage adds up invisibly until it's too late. If you ever feel unsure about a medication, don't just stop. Call your doctor. There are always alternatives. Lower doses, fewer side effects. But stopping completely, that's a gamble with your life. Make it easier on yourself. Use a pill organizer. Set a reminder on your phone. Keep extra doses in your bag when traveling. One little pill may feel small, but it could be the reason you're still around 5 years from now laughing, walking, and holding someone you love. My dear friends, your heart is still listening. You've made it this far, and I want you to pause for a moment, not to worry, but to reflect. Because the truth is, your heart has been with you through everything. Every joy, every loss, every quiet morning and sleepless night. It's never once taken a break. And now, as we age, it's asking for something simple in return. A little care, a little consistency. Not perfection, not extremes, just attention. 10 habits may sound like a lot, but remember, you don't have to fix everything at once. Start with one. One walk around the block, one less salty snack, one evening without wine, one honest conversation, one deep breath before bedtime, because every small act of care you give your heart, it gives back. In energy, in peace, in moments you didn't know you could still have. So let me ask you gently, which habit will you choose to change today? And if this video made you feel seen, or helped you understand your heart just a little better, would you consider clicking the like button? It helps us reach more seniors who might need this message. And if you'd like to be part of a community that shares real, honest health advice, hit subscribe and join us here at Health 365. Take care of your heart, and it will take care of you. I'll see you in the next video. My friend,